Being attacked by a grizzly bear are next to zero.
Can you imagine? By a grizzly? In a 2 News exclusive tonight, one man lost his jaw after a grizzly bit him in the face. He lived to tell the tale.
I didn't feel pain. I felt the crunch and heard the crunch of the break in my jaw.
Yeah, after several reconstructive surgeries here in Utah, Rudy Noorlander now well enough to at least talk about the attack that almost killed him for the first time.
Amazing. Jim Spiewak sat down exclusively one-on-one with Rudy this week. And Jim, doctors had to reconstruct his entire jaw.
Yeah, they absolutely did. You know, last time Rudy was here in Salt Lake, he was drawing on a whiteboard because he couldn't speak, and he still carries around his box of tissues for the drool, but that doesn't stop him. He certainly has a lot to say. You know, he was here in Salt Lake earlier this week for another surgery on his jaw, and considering that he almost lost his life, he now has a new take on it.
I'm very fortunate to be alive.
Last September, Rudy Noorlander rented side-by-sides in Big Sky, Montana to a father and son who shot a deer. And the very next day, Rudy went out into the forest to help them track it down.
I got into the trees about, maybe 500 feet. And I jumped a snarled grizzly there, probably its first year out on its own.
That little bear ran away, and from that point on, Rudy had his gun out and ready. He eventually met up with the father and son, and they spread out to search for the deer.
It's like I stepped over a log, looked to see where George was, and there the bear was coming at me already.
Rudy pulled the trigger on his .38 caliber revolver, but it misfired, and the grizzly bear grabbed Rudy by the face.
I ran there and getting me by the jaw and taking me up off the ground. And I could see George running towards me, and I said, "Help me."
Rudy says the entire attack didn't last that long.
And then he bit harder, and he took off my lower jaw, and I probably fell to the ground. That's probably when he stepped on my chest and bit my leg.
And he believes his body immediately went into shock.
I felt the crunch and heard the crunch of the break in my jaw, that I didn't feel him bite me or anything else.
The father and son were able to scare the bear away as Rudy started to get weak while waiting for the chopper, but he never let the worst enter his mind.
Just thinking the other day that I don't think there's any point that I thought I wasn't going to make it.
And through it all, Rudy has had an amazing sense of humor.
I knew he had me by the jaw. I knew he had done something to my face. And I said, you know, that's my moneymaker. Don't touch that.
Doctors who had never worked on a grizzly survivor took a bone from his leg and a skin graft from his arm to reconstruct his jaw.
So what's it like having part of your leg in your jaw?
Who knew he had stairs hearts?
The recovery was intense at first.
The Hershey weeks, it's like I could only lay in one position and not feel like I was going to choke myself to death.
Rudy took his first steps just 5 days after getting out of the ICU and is happy with the progress of his recovery. He says the feeding tube is ready to be removed.
I used to walk up to the two cafeterias just so I could smell the food.
His first bear encounter was when he was 10 years old and thinks he's had at least 100 encounters since, but it was this encounter that changed his life and his outlook on it.
I was told in the hospital that it was less than 1/8 of an inch on one side and less than that on the other side, and he would have hit my artery. And there's no rhyme or reason that a bear would stop short of the kill other than his intervention.
Authorities never found the bear and stopped searching for it the day after the attack, but Rudy does have a message for it.
I'll win round two. If we ever meet again, I'll win round two.
Win round two. But it's your understanding that they stopped.
Rudy really is one of a kind. He has one more surgery scheduled. That's to get his new teeth put in. And again, he really has an amazing outlook on life. And when he does get his new teeth, he wants to continue to share his story to inspire and even promote bear safety out in the wilderness. You know, he's already back to work, but he does say that the medical bills are starting to pile up and roll in, and he's got his fundraiser still up. If anyone would like to help him out with that, we've linked it in this story over on our website. We're reporting live in Salt Lake, Jim Spiewak, KUTV 2 News.